Okay, so this is a little video on how Google Shopping works on a very basic level, just so you can understand it. So first of all, you've got in our e-commerce store. In our case, this would be a Magento store. So Magento store, and then when you've got a Magento store, what you'd have coming out of Magento is a product feed. So this is a product feed, and it's usually in either a comma separated value format or XML, and they sound complicated, but really all that is a list of products with the information about the product. So you'll have things like price, and you'll have colors, whether it's in stock, out of stock, the link to the product, the link to the images, all the information about that product that Google can use to sell that product. So that would link to the product feed like that. So you have a product feed. So then, and that's like a file that is accessible from other websites. So it's on a URL, so it's on a web address. And then that web address, you can have a username and password on that web address to protect it or not, or it can just be viewable online for everybody. So then, what that product feed then goes into, it then goes into the Google Merchant Center. Well, it's American spelling, I think. So it goes like that, and then so that then links through to like that. And what that allows Google to do is to take the product feed and to check the product feed to make sure it applies to all its standards and everything. So it would go and look for things like, has it got the right fields for colors filled out? Is the availability correct? If it's saying out of stock, is it actually out of stock on the website? So it's almost like a quality checker for the feed, and that's where it gets held by Google, and Google gives you information in the Merchant Center to tell you how many products are correct and what's happening with them. And it'll give you feedback about how many products you've actually got allowed at the moment, etc., etc. And that's where you can find out about things. So you have to verify that feed and verify that you own the website that you want to promote the products on. But once it's gone into Google Center, then you then link the Google Merchant Center to Google AdWords, and so basically that then links in to Google AdWords like that. So Google AdWords takes the information from the Google Merchant Center and promotes those in Google Shopping. So Google Shopping is like a subset, is a campaign, like a sub-campaign in Google AdWords called a shopping campaign. And that's really, in a nutshell, how it all works, like that. Now, just to explain how we set it up at Smarty Business. So what we actually do, if I can just move these ones here, between the product feed and the Merchant Center, we actually use a feed manager called Data Feed Watch. And there's a few different ones of these. I think there's things like Channel Advisor and people like that do these kind of things as well. And what that allows us to do, I wish I could get that one onto one line. Let me see if I can just put that. That looks a bit better. So what that then does is it allows us to change the feed on the fly without having to get a developer involved. So when the feed is put out of the Magento store into a product feed, you can have certain control over it, and obviously we've got a team of different developers who do all this setting the feed up, but Data Feed Watch allows me to go and change that feed very quickly. I can also put rules in there. I can add, I can do optimization of titles. I can do optimization of descriptions. I can really do a lot more with Datafeed Watch to make sure that what's going into the Merchant Center is optimized for Google Shopping. So for example, if I see errors in the Merchant Center and it's really every product's got the same error, maybe it's missing a color and I've got a color in another field, I could then map that to the right field. So it just gives me much more flexibility to use what's called a feed manager in between those two steps. The only downside of using something like this is you're putting an extra step into your process, and when the Magento for store will probably update the product feed maybe once or twice a day. That'll get updated to this file, then this will maybe update once or twice a day, and then this will update once a day, and then so there could be a lag of inventory. So if your inventory, as things sell out, you might get a mismatch between what's actually in stock on the store and what's actually in stock being shown in Google AdWords. And in that case, what you can use is a Google inventory feed, which feeds the inventory status of the product IDs directly into Google AdWords, which allows the stock information to be updated a lot more rapidly rather than having to go through all this process. So if you've got a product that do sell out and stocking information is much more important, it's kind of needs to be done every half an hour or so, then you just start using a Google inventory feed and you add that to this process, and that kind of so you've still got the product information, which should be fairly static, once a day, etc. But then you've got the stocking information coming through a lot quicker by using a Google inventory feed. So a lot of the time, a lot of my merchants don't use this. So this is the kind of format they use. But hopefully that should give you an idea. I just realised you can't see them. Can you see the top one? Just give you an idea of the flow into how Google Shopping works, and what steps you need to put in place to get it all working together. And there's lots of information online about how to set each one of these up. I just wanted to show you the structure of how everything kind of flows from one thing to the other.